weather forecast today?
Today's forecast, a lot of sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just a perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
Yeah, sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking day.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our vodcast, which is Contracts and Cocktails. I'm Carolyn Smith.
And I'm Kelly Bowling.
We're with the Coastal Estate team at Compass. We're super excited to be back today in our new setup here. We're going to see if we like this better than sitting at the table and if you like it better. Today we're going to talk about out-of-area agents because we both had some recent experience with that and also not recent experience. And an out-of-area agent is an agent, a realtor who doesn't work or live in the area that they're selling or listing a property in. So for example, if I live here in the Melbourne area and I have a client who wants to buy a property in, let's say, even Orlando, and I'm not familiar with the neighborhoods, I'm not familiar with the different housing developments, and they say, and I'm not a member of that MLS, so I don't necessarily have the same access. And my client says, I really want you to help me for some reason. I want you to help me because you're my aunt or you're my best friend's sister or whatever it is.
Right.
And can you sell me a property there? And my answer is no, I can't.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Yeah. How are you going to know how to recommend, like, are the schools good? I don't know.
Right.
How's the neighborhood? I have no idea.
Right.
What's the crime rate like? Well, we can't tell people that anyhow,
Right.
but you don't even know, like, where to direct them. Like, which police department is,
Is it near a major highway? I really don't know. I can look at a map, but I don't know necessarily, is the access
busy?
good? Is it
Right.
busy? Is rush hour terrible? I don't know the normal things.
Right.
I also don't have access to the great inspectors or, maybe the lender is not going to pick the appraiser who lives locally in that area.
Right.
And so I feel like there's no way. I refer that business out. You refer that business out.
Always, every time. And, sometimes it's like, yeah, would you get paid in full if you went, and drove 2 hours or an hour or 3 hours or whatever? Yeah, sure. You have to keep in mind, like, it's not just that one trip you're making to show the house. You need to be able to go back for the inspection. You need to be able to go back for the walkthrough. And I had an incident not too long ago where I was selling, there was an out-of-area agent, and she was in Ocala, and she was great as far as, like, she was on top of her game. She, went for the showing. She came back for the inspection, but then Ian hit. And it was right before closing, and she could not get here for the walkthrough. I was more than happy to assist and help her out. But there's situations like that where, that's another reason why not to do it, because your weather might be different in one area and it could prevent you from being here for different things that you need to be here for. And the walkthrough is kind of an important part of the process.
Super important. And we don't represent the other party. Yes, we can open the door. Yes, we can walk them through, but we don't represent you. I'm dealing right now with an out-of-area agent out of Miami. She is a nice person. I think she is related to the buyer. She did not have access to open doors.
Right.
So she wanted everyone to go out for all these showings she's doing. She couldn't book it the normal way because she didn't have access to our showing time system. Then she wanted people to go open the doors for her. And so it ended up, my seller actually ended up letting her in.
Right.
She put the offer in. She didn't have access to our documents because she didn't have access to our MLS. We send her everything. Then she wants, can you let in the inspector? First, can you recommend an inspector?
Right. Which is not a good idea if you represent the seller, and then you recommend an inspector. How can you, as the other agent or the buyer, be ensured that I'm not recommending you like the worst inspector who's like maybe blind in both eyes? Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you want that?
And it's sort of a conflict of interest. I represent the seller. I'm not going to provide you with an inspector, so I wouldn't. I didn't. I told her to Google it if she needed to find one. So, then she's like, well, how does the inspector get in? First, she wants to bring in an inspector from Miami. And I don't know, but I don't think any great inspector is going to be driving 6 hours round trip to inspect a house.
No. I know the one that I use would definitely not do that. Like, he gives an upcharge if he has to go, like, to Titusville or Merritt Island because it's outside of, like, the South Brevard area.
Yeah.
And I'm more than happy to pay him for that. But no, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's 3 hours away. So she wanted that. Then can you let him in? No, you need to come. And also, by the way, the buyer's not allowed in the house without a realtor. So, that's part of that too. So anyway, it's just one thing after another.
Yes.
And I think to myself, yes, I understand that you have this relative or this friend and you really trust them and you think that's the best person to help me.
Right.
But that person, that realtor, can find you a great realtor in the area that you want to live in. Yeah. And that is honestly the best way to go about that.
Because that person can then educate that buyer, because they're probably coming from outside the area too, on, hey, where's the best place to eat near this house? Like, what's the easiest way for me to get to work from here? And they can kind of give you the ins and outs. Those are things I always talk about. I have buyers that are moving here from other areas that will ask me like, hey, do you know like a good daycare nearby? Or do you know a good church that we could go to? Or, is there a mom's group nearby? Like, if I'm not from your area, I'm going to have no clue.
Recommending dentists and, everything.
Hairdressers.
Right.
Like, that's the biggest question I get. Who's going to do my hair when I move?
Yeah. And where's the Costco, which we used to have to say, we don't have a Costco. We're so sorry, but now we have Costco.
It's almost coming up on a year now.
Yeah, we love Costco. Don't get us started on Costco. That's a whole episode.
A whole episode. It is, yeah.
We love. I went in and they were like, I have an executive membership, so you get the 2% back. Just have to share this, and I have never changed my card. So every time I check out, they're like, "Do you want to upgrade?" I'm like, "I don't need to upgrade. I have it. Whatever." So I had to go to customer service, and I was like, "Hey, can you just give me a new card so they don't ask me that every time?" And they are like, you have been a member, I don't even want to say this, like 30 some years. I have been a member since 1985.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've been a long time member of Costco. So I've kept my membership through all of it. I just used to order online. So yeah I love Costco. All right, so let's talk about, we have a new social media manager.
Yes, we're excited. She just started yesterday and yes, we're already blown away. She's so amazing.
And Kelly was happy to be fired from her temporary
Oh yes, position. Absolutely. I got my last paycheck yesterday. It was like the best feeling.
So Micah is awesome. She graduated from UF with a degree in advertising and a minor in digital media. She was a cheerleader there, so she is super bubbly.
Yes.
Super outgoing, but super skilled. She has worked in the social media field for another company.
Right.
And wanted the flexibility that we have in our office, and we were happy to give that to her.
Yes, absolutely. And she co-owns a swimwear brand too.
Yeah.
And she does all the social media stuff for that. And it's very impressive, I will say.
Yeah, she's going to be great. We're super excited about what she's going to bring to the table for us as far as like really getting that going. We want to get our YouTube channel going, so we hope you all will subscribe once we really get that moving more. We're going to be doing fun content with that, and she's going to be putting out some great stuff. So it's going to take her a little while to learn some of our systems, but we figure within like a month or so.
Yeah.
She'll be ready to go.
I think we're maybe underestimating her. Like it might just be a couple weeks. And
her first day, we were like, why is she not asking any questions?
Not asking any questions. She got up and she was like, Carolyn, can I ask you a question? And I was like, oh, it's a question. And it was like, how do I fill out this W-9? And I'm like, well, that's not a real question. And then towards the end of the day, she's like, can I ask you a question? Carolyn's on the phone. I was like, sure, anything you need. She's like, can I work the rest of the day at home? And I'm like, it's 4:00. Like, I think it's time for you to leave now. Yes, that's not a question. She didn't need any guidance from us. It was, it was great.
She logged in everything. She was doing her thing. I'm like, are you making our stuff beautiful? And she said, yes, I am. So we're really excited about her. So you should be subscribing to our Instagram and our TikTok and
following us on Facebook, because all that stuff will go out there. YouTube, yeah. So she's going to be getting everything going for sure. So we're excited.
Yeah. So then we're going to talk a little bit about, we've both been, I've been sick. I'm finally better, but I got sick. Then I went to Maryland, and what finally was better, I went to Maryland, got back, got sick again. And I was like, what is happening here?
And then my kids were out all last week. Both of them woke up Sunday morning a week ago, and one of them had a fever. The other one woke up like a few hours later. He also had a fever. We took them to urgent care. They both had flu A. So I was like, well, how long do they have to be home? He was like, through the week. And I'm like, well, luckily we had a hurricane. So they really only missed 2 days.
Luckily there was just a little
hurricane, no big deal. But one of them went back yesterday, and then the other one went back today.
And we did go back.
He didn't want to. I think he got accustomed to being off and being able to game all day and whatever. But and then my husband, about 2 days into it, I think it was Monday night.
Yeah.
He starts to sound, I'm like, you don't sound right. And he was like, oh, it's just this pressure system coming in from the storm. And I'm like, oh, it's the hurricane. Yeah. The hurricane making you sick. So
The hurricane flu.
yeah. Me being awoken to him hacking in the bathroom every morning for the last week tells me it's not the hurricane, but so
Is he feeling better?
he feels fine. Like he's still going about his thing, but every morning when he wakes up, he gets that, like, I don't know, that drip or whatever happening. And he's like choking in the bathroom, which is awful. Cause I'm like, I just was sleeping. Now I'm not. So
this is what we worry about. Did you wake us up?
Well, he was supposed to have shoulder surgery last week, on Thursday. And before the hurricane, they decided, we don't want to take any chances. We're just going to reschedule everybody, push everybody a week. So he goes in this Thursday for that. And I have never been so excited for this man to have surgery because he's not going to be in my bedroom after that. We bought him an old man chair.
One of the lift chairs.
No offense to anybody that has a lift chair. I think it's the coolest thing. It's a recliner. We went looking for a recliner because he has a friend that had the surgery done about 6 months ago. Yeah. He showed his friend the setup of our couch, and that guy was like, that's not going to work for you, man. Like, you need a recliner. So we went out, we found some recliners, but they all have a right-handed, like, operation or the buttons, and it's the right shoulder, and it's going to be, like, kind of immobilized. It's not going to be able to use that arm at all. And I'm like, well, we need a remote one. So let's find one with a remote. Well, all the remote ones pretty much like are the kind that push you up. So, you don't have to pull yourself up, but it's pretty cool. It has like a headrest adjuster. It has lumbar support. It has remote recline.
He's set for the next 50 years, folks.
And it's got a heated seat. I almost kicked him out of it over the weekend. Yes, it's got a heated seat. So I'm like, that's kind of nice. Yeah.
I just bought myself heated throws from Costco, just so you know.
I need to get some of those. Yeah.
Brookline, Brookstone, something.
Okay.
Yeah. They're $36.
Oh, that's cheap.
They come in 5 colors.
That's a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Kids, if you're watching, you didn't hear that.
Yeah. And they have very good reviews.
Yeah.
So, I bought my mom one too.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll be cuddled up. Anyway,
I'm just going to be really glad to get the pharmacy cleared off my kitchen counter because I have every over-the-counter medication known to man in my kitchen right now. So
yeah, it's going around, and the RSV stuff is going around. Yeah. So where we thought that was just for babies, now kids are getting it, and there's adults are getting it. So there's that. You're like, do I have COVID? Do I have the flu? Do I have RSV? I just got a cold.
I have a friend that recently, told me she was ill. She's like, but I tested for COVID and I'm negative. And I'm like, we need the home test for the flu, RSV, like all the things, because everybody's just like, oh, I don't have COVID, so I'm good. Yeah. And it turns out she had like pneumonia and RSV. And it's like, that's good to know. I'm like, you might want to get checked for flu because that's what was on the top of my brain. Right. It wasn't that. But so now it's just the crud, it's going around.
Yeah, it is going around. So stay healthy, people. And I think that's it for us for today.
Except I do have a mom joke.
Oh, she has a mom joke.
And a mom joke, if you don't know what a mom joke is, it's like a dad joke, but it's funnier. So,
well, because we are.
But so my mom joke is that the good thing about going back to work after you've had kids is that you have your mom boss voice perfected. So for me, this rings true because when I first started in real estate, I was very intimidated by other agents. Yeah. And I feel like that vibe gets picked up on by certain other agents that maybe are not the same gender that I am.
Me. I wouldn't.
No, not you. But mostly opposite gender, older agents. Yeah. And when I say older, it doesn't mean they've been doing it longer, just they're older than I am. Yeah. And I've literally had them yell at me over the phone, like yelling at me. And it's like flashbacks to my first marriage. So I'm like not having that. But it took me a couple years. And then I'm like, oh, no, we're not doing that. And I would literally use my mom voice and be like, when you can talk to me in the right tone of voice, then you're allowed to call me again. But until then, you are only allowed to email me. And then I will hang up the phone. Good job. But that seems to work because then it's like you get to calm down. And then sometimes you'll get an apologetic text message. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Like, it's okay. We all make mistakes. In your mom voice.
Kelly is the calm, voice of
I wasn't always a calm mom.
No?
No, it took I think by kid number 4 is when that started to happen.
Kelly has 5, if you don't know. Yeah. Kelly and 5 kids. I have 2. I'm about to
Yeah, but I think that's it. So.
Okay. All right. So we will see you next time. Cheers. Bye.
Today's forecast, a lot of sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just the perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast.